back again. Well, I made a comment to, I didn't even watch this whole video. Is the warning 666, the Antichrist is alive? He puts a question mark after that. He hasn't called or talked to BP reporter or anything like that, which is where he apparently got this. Are they alive? Wow. Obviously, they have to be alive. Just being logical. So I made this comment. This is something that I just couldn't let pass. So I said, so let's be only logical for a moment. 2067 being the cutoff year for the end of the matter. That is a short 50 years from now for everything prior to the 1,000-year reign of Christ. The Antichrist, the false prophet, and the men of this particular beast and kingdoms must be alive or at least born. Let us remember one thing. When he does take control, it will be openly done and not this lying, deceiving nonsense we see right now. Also remember, whoever is the head I said, let us remember one thing. When he does take control, he will know. And will be openly done and not this lying, deceiving nonsense that we see right now. Also remember, when he does, whoever is the head will be, whoever the head will be, he will know he is. I suppose I could explain some of this. 2067, I made a video on my own website, God's Judgment, on my own YouTube channel, God's Judgment, about why I keep saying 2067. It goes back to Israel was born in 1940, reborn in 1947, and what Jesus said is, know ye that this generation shall not pass. And the word pass is taken from Strong's Concordance, meaning to die. In other words, they're not going to die. So that gives us a time frame. And then we go to the flood of Noah. God says to Noah, man's days shall be numbered no more than 120 years. So you add 120 years to 1947, and you come up with 2067. Now, there's some interesting things going on that also support this. The final blood moon is in 2060, I believe. That's 7 years. 7 years. Interesting. Interesting. Holy smokes. What a coincidence. Oh. That also... but we have had a recent set of blood moons. So, you know, it could be any time between now and 2067. That, and people say, well, you mean when Christ returns, no man knoweth the day nor the hour. Exactly. God said exactly. Jesus said exactly, no man knoweth the day nor the hour. But he didn't say the week or the month or the year. So we can know those things. I just don't happen to know enough, nor do I find any agreement in the scholars and the in any preaching that I run into that you know deals with this that I can agree with. And all I find is a bunch of people speculating. Ultimately, it boils down to speculation, you know. All we can do is, you know, sit there and watch for the signs in the heavens and the earth. What signs do we have? I mean, Pastor Paul Begley has bothered to enumerate some of the signs. I gotta say that in some ways, many ways, I agree with what he's saying, but in some ways, I don't know. You know, it ends up being pure speculation. You know, it borders on false prophecy. A lot of the stuff that rather saying that he believes, I don't know that he believes. I think that he's just watching as well. But nevertheless, you know, I still appreciate the fact that he is bringing forth a lot of things, but facts and data are what's needed, not, you know, reality is what's needed. The meteors, the volcanoes. Here's a speculation on my part. See, notice I'm saying speculation. Is the Abaddon's army, which by the way is different from the angel of the angels of the apocalypse, versus also the four horsemen. The Abaddon's army is different from the angels of the apocalypse, the four angels sealed in the river Euphrates. You got to keep remembering that. Four angels sealed in the river Euphrates have 200 million. And the four horsemen, or I mean the Abaddon and his armies have 200 million. And then the kings of the east, they also have their armies of 200 million. Interesting. Wow. And yet everybody wants to conjugate all these things into one. It's not. If you find a difference in the Bible, I'll give you a clue and a hint on reading the Word. If you find a difference in description of something in the Bible, then they cannot possibly be the same, yet they are similar. But you can't throw out all the dissimilarities and say, okay, this must be this. In God's Word, the dissimilarities make them different. As God telling you this is a different group, and this is a different group, and this is a different group, and this is a different beast. See, God is ever precise. We're the ones that keep getting all generalized and we keep trying to throw out the dissimilarities. Don't. Put the dissimilarities back in and say, oh, this is different from this. That's how you can determine which is which. But nevertheless, for us regular goof-up human beings, me being one of them, we see... all we really get to see is the asteroids and the meteors and the fireballs and the, you know, and the science reports on where our solar system is at in relationship to the galaxy, and where, you know, very interesting things like this going on. I mean, it's just fascinating to me. It's like, holy smokes, this is happening. And oh, let me get back to Abaddon and his army. Could it possibly be speculation on my part? Remember, could it possibly be a supervolcano erupting during this period of time, shortly after a star like unto a mountain burning with fire? And I'm saying that biblical scholars have gotten Revelations wrong. They're trying to fold it in on each other and make a little book out of it. You know, a little, you know, with pages and stuff that self-support itself. No, it's supported by the Old Testament, if you want to go back and read those prophecies. And I'm saying that it's linear in function. There are events that begin to occur so rapidly, mankind can hardly get a grip at all. it's not symbolic things happening, which is what the Illuminati or whoever what everybody's reporting the Illuminati are about. Which, by the way, I'm not into. I'm not into the symbolisms of everything. I'm saying revelations will be real. So my speculation is a supervolcano going off, loosing a spiritual kingdom of 200 million spiritual warriors whose job is to sting the men of the beast of this in this day and age. I don't know. It's just speculation on my part. So anyway, enough said for now. I could keep rambling and going and going. I just don't want to stop. I can't help myself. Well, maybe I can. A little bit. Enough said. Click.